Okay, no, we're not doing practice tests. We get our notes out. We took a test.
I know,
We're in
I'm
the
so
next
sad.
section.
Wait.
I thought I knew what I was doing.
I know, so did I. When you see what you did, you think.
I think I put verbal.
Are you passing them out today?
Well, you definitely missed that up. You definitely missed that up. But you missed a lot of those domain questions, and you had that secondary.
Are you passing the test out?
No, the tests aren't coming back yet. We still have a couple people.
I don't think I
taking.
took it in the morning. I think wasn't prepared. I'm not good at that.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to work majorly hard because in 2 weeks I can. That is also real. If I try
Okay,
to
well,
take
then you
it,
better work
if I can't put
really
football
hard.
transfer.
Oh my soul.
I'm dead for Bob if I can.
Okay, is everybody on the back of page 11 of your notes? And this will be a good warm-up. And I tell you what, while you're in there digging around looking for something, get out another sheet of paper, because I want to do a couple more of these to practice. This is a guaranteed test question. And in fact, yesterday, for little E period, they had a long period. So after they took their test, we went through this and they had a quiz over it yesterday. So you better be ready. Get a sheet of paper out to go with this, because we're going to do a couple extra problems. One more example isn't allowed. We're going to do a couple of them.
I checked out the video.
Good.
What was it about? Inverses.
Then you saw a bunch of this.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you do?
Okay. We don't have time to mess around today, guys. We need to get focused. Get a lot done. Okay. All right. Look at the last problem we did on the sheet. We did E together last time. This is F. What did I do to start? What was the very first thing I did?
Put Y in.
I put Y in for, well, for this, I put a Y in. And then I took this and made it an X, and these and made them Y's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody remember that? That is how we find inverses.
What's the point of even doing the first step though?
Well,
That's a
this
good
is
question.
F of X. If you want to go straight to here, you can. But, okay, so I have this problem, and I say to you, switch the X's and Y's. Some kid will say, well, there's no Y. Well, there is. That's the same as Y. So I just rewrote it, and then I switched. But if you can go straight from here to here, that's absolutely fine. Okay, now, can you tell from your notes what happens next? What do I do next? Multiply this over to here. So I have X times 4Y plus 1 equal to 8Y minus 2. I multiply this over to here. Alrighty? Now, I'm going to distribute. So I have 4XY plus X equals 8Y minus 2.
I'm confused.
How can you be
The
confused?
last step, will you walk through that again?
I brought this over here
Oh.
to get rid of the fraction. Now, this is the step we sometimes forget. Our job is to get Y by itself. How many Y's are in that problem? 2. That is bad news. So we're going to get the Y's on the same side of the equation so that we can factor them out. So we're going to rearrange, and it doesn't matter which side what's on, but you want everything with a Y on one side and everything else on the other side. Okay? Now I can take my Y out. And if I take my Y out, what will I have left? 4X minus 8. And then, to get Y by itself, I will simply divide both sides by 4X minus 8. Just divide both sides by that. And this is my inverse. Okay? So let's run through the steps again, and then let's have you try one on your spare sheet of paper. First thing we have to do is switch our x's and y's. Remembering that f of x is the same as y. So we're going to switch our x's and y's. Then what's the second thing we do? Bring this over here so there's no fraction, and distribute. Once you get it distributed, then what do? Rearrange so that all the y's are together. Once we get all the y's together, what do?
Divide by y.
Well, we factor them out, factor out the y, and then we divide by the parentheses that's left over. Okay? All right, so here's another one for you to try. Okay? So, I want you to kind of lead me through this. So I want you to do the first step,
Make
and
it
then
a
I'll do
Y.
it and see if we match. Okay, so this is the same as y, Ethan says, and he's correct. Now, you don't have to write this step down if you don't need to, but now I have a y and an x. So what do I do, Paul?
Switch them.
You do x equals, and then you substitute the y's for x.
Yep,
I can do
so there we are. Everybody good so far? Okay, now what? Move the denominator over here. And you can do that in one step or two. If you move it over here, you can distribute as you go. If that's too much for you, do it in 2 steps. You're multiplying 6y minus 2 over here. So you're going to take x times both of those. Now what?
Get y.
Well, yeah, I gotta get the y's together on the same side. So we do rearranging at this point.
That one, just
You add the
pull out the
2x and
subtract the y.
No, you have to pull out the y.
But in this one, what do you do?
Okay, I gotta get them on the same side.
Oh.
See, that's the key. Rearrange, and as soon as you get them on the same side, now you can take it out.
I missed the odd.
Yes, that rearranging step is important. You have to get your y's on the same side. Now, when I pull out my y, I'm going to factor out my y. What will I have left in the parentheses? 6x minus 8. And that equals 2x plus 7. So what does y end up equaling then? I'm solving for y, so y ends up equaling what?
2x plus 7.
2x plus 7 over 6x minus 8. Now, some of you were working ahead of me. Anybody get that on your own? Very good. Let's try one more to see if more people can get it on your own. And then we'll move on. Okay. So let's do 3x minus 2 over 5x plus 1. There you go. See how far you can get. I'll eat my banana while you're working on it. up here if you got an answer, see if it matches. If it doesn't match, let's figure out where you went wrong. Here's my switching variables step. This is my multiply to clear fraction step. That's my rearranging step. My factoring and my division. Got it? All right, well, I don't want you to be without a little quick quiz. So let's get out a half sheet of paper, share with a friend. Actually, no, never mind. I've got half sheets, so we'll say paper. Everybody gets a sheet, but you're going to work with your partner, okay? But everybody does it. I want a different paper from everybody. Yep. Everybody gets paper. Just working their little box.
Why do you talk like that?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a problem. Everybody's going to do it, but you can help each other, okay? Don't be shouting stuff out. You're just helping your own little group.
Hey,
Okay.
6X.
Huh?
You think he's trying to get some techie people down?
Okay. All right, so here we go. Here's your problem.
Watch out.
You're going to do exactly what we just did. You're going to find the inverse. This is no notes, by the way. You can help each other, but we're not using our notes. All right, so here's your problem.
Is there a bonus question?
No,
Is this the only problem?
that's the only problem. No Bailey today? No, neither Bailey today. Both Baileys are out. All right, when you're done, pass them down to the person at the end of the row, and I'll come around and
Can you
collect
put our
them.
name on it?
Let's keep wrapping it up, pass them to the end of the row so I can pick them up.
So we're looking at probably like a 10. That's
I think after the test, I just like.
Okay, one more. One more. This is a quiz.
What'd you get? High honors?
Girl.
Right. You're such a lousy, lame, boring
Oh my
You tell me
goodness.
this
All right,
freshman year.
pass them in, they here?
Jackson took all CP.
Oh, are we not
Super
doing
easy, so
another
that's what I'm
one?
gonna do.
No, only one.
Now look at you.
One question.
You're a washed up Ivy baseball player.
One more minute. Oh, I'm sorry, I got interrupted or lost my train of thought.
You're gonna do it. Phillips is better.
There's the restroom.
No. It's an absolute emergency.
It is, I have to go really bad.
I'm not allowed to go.
No. We'll take a little break in a minute, you can run to the bathroom, but right now we've got work to do.
This is like a 3-hour class.
I wish.
Oh, no.
All right, here we go,
Oh,
number two.
I thought it was better.
All right, this is vocabulary. I need everybody taking good notes. It's very, very simple, but it's vocabulary. Okay? Now, each question has each question has 3 parts to it. The first part you already know. It's super simple. Look at the 3 pictures that you've been given, A, B, and C. Question number 1 is that picture a function? Number A, is it a function? Yes, because it passes the vertical line test. B, is it a function? No, because it does not pass the vertical line test. C, yes, because it passes the vertical line test. All right, so everybody's got that, right?
One of the 1, 2, 3,
All right.
4.
Now, question number 2 says, okay, is the inverse of this thing a function? Now, to tell if the inverse is a function, we use the horizontal line test. The horizontal line test tells me if the inverse is a function. And for those of you that care, this isn't a huge deal, so don't get all hung up about it. But if you look at that first question, here's a horizontal line. It does not pass the horizontal line test. See how it crosses twice? But let's say this is the point 24 and this is the point 34. If they're on the same horizontal line, their y's match, right? So in this picture, I have matching y's, which isn't a problem. But when I do the inverse, think about the problem you just did. What do you do to x and y when you do the inverse? You flip them. So in the original, what was a y will become an x in the inverse. And so repeated y's mean the inverse will have repeated x's, and that makes it not a function. So that's why the horizontal line test works. All right. To figure out if something is inverse is a function or not, you do the horizontal line test. Number A, part 2 is no. It does not pass the horizontal line test. What about B, part 2? Yes, it passes the horizontal line test. And C, yes, it passes the horizontal line test. So to tell if I am a function, you use the vertical line test. To tell if my inverse is a function, you use the horizontal line test. Now, the third part says, is this 1-to-1? In order to be 1-to-1, you pass both tests. 1-to-1 means no x's repeat and no y's repeat. 1-to-1. 1 x, 1 y. So, is A 1-to-1? No, it does not pass both tests. Is B 1-to-1? No, it does not pass both tests. Is C 1-to-1? Yes, it passes both tests.
I agree.
We might. I hope you remember it when the time comes. All right, now, number 3. After we get through this, we'll take a bit of a break, and those of you that need to go to the bathroom can go. But we're gonna do part 3 first. It's only 2 problems. We're gonna sketch the inverse. We're gonna sketch the inverse, okay? Now, the key to doing that is to remember when you did this problem, when we found the inverse, we switched our x and y. Remember that? So when we graph the inverse, we are going to do exactly the same thing. So the first thing I want you to do is take the original picture, and I want you to go through and label every point. So what's this point right here? 0, 1. I want you to label them. What's this one? 1, 0. Go through and label them all and make sure we match each other. So you got a label? Now, I want you to, however you want to do it, wherever you want to start, I want you to plot the flips. So instead of plotting the point -4, 0, you're going to plot the point 0, -4. And I want you to label it. And then -1, -3. Just flip them. You are graphing the exact same points, you're just flipping them. Your inverse. Got it, Quincy? That's pretty easy, isn't it? How do we graph an inverse? We just switch all the ordered pairs. Plot them, plot the flips, and then connect the dots. You have to connect them.
Actually sound like a dog.
That's not nice. It wasn't a usual sneeze though.
Sound like a puppy.
Now, I want you to notice something about this, and I'm hoping that it makes somewhat sense to you. The original picture kind of sits on the x-axis, but look at the inverse. The inverse actually sits on the y-axis. Does that make sense? Yes, because what did you do to your ordered pairs? When you do the inverse, you switch them. So how the x's used to be the focus, now the y's are. Do you feel confident that you can do number 2, or B, letter B? All right, let's see what you got. Remember to label the original points. What do you think? Is this what yours looks like? Okay. All right, we're gonna pause for 3 minutes, exactly 3 minutes. So if you need to run to the bathroom, you got 3 minutes.
We're gonna take a short break.
Yep.
Short recess.